welcome back to TC 911 Beyond the Call, the Tarrant 911 District podcast. I'm your host, Abbey Dudek, the communications coordinator at Tarrant 911 District. This is episode 2, and today we have Kate from Mansfield 911 Communications. Hello, Kate. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on my podcast.
I'm glad to be here.
That is awesome. And she's got me out in the nightlife, folks. She's
Yes.
an overnighter.
I'm a night owl.
That's okay. But you're a day sleeper.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I when I was a dispatcher, I loved working the night shift.
I do too.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. There's just something
I feel
different
like
about it.
I get more sleep working nights than I do if I was working days. I know it doesn't make sense, but
No. I think I agree. I know where you're coming from. Like for myself, when I was a dispatcher, I lived in an apartment. And so when I was at work, people were sleeping. When I was home, people were gone at work. So the my neighbors weren't making noises, or I was on the first floor, so the upstairs neighbors weren't making noises or anything. So I didn't have blackout curtains are your best friend.
Yeah, I live in an apartment. I live on the 3rd floor, so there's nobody above me. And
there you go. So when you get home, do you stomp on the ground and make sure they get up for their job?
No, I do not do that.
Time to wake up.
But I do feel bad sometimes on my days off when I realize it's 2:00 in the morning and I'm doing my dishes, or I'm like, oh, I'm running the garbage disposal. I probably shouldn't do this at 2:00 in the morning.
Oh, yeah. They probably just think you're like OCD and
maybe.
She's like a compulsive cleaner.
Yeah.
Gosh, her apartment must be immaculate up there. It's 2:00. I gotta clean.
I know, because I try not to flip my schedule too much on my days off, just because it's so hard to flip it back.
Oh yeah, I always found it harder on your Fridays when you got home. You have a different adrenaline rush because you don't have to go to work that night. So you're just like, I kind of want to just stay up and do my thing. So I don't know, do you stay up or do you?
Well, so Saturdays are my Fridays, and we work 3 12s and a 4. So my 4-hour day is on my Friday. So I'm only working 4 hours.
Oh,
so I'm off at 10 and I don't have to worry about it.
Ready to go.
Yep.
Well, that's super. So how long have you been dispatching here at Mansfield?
At Mansfield, a little over 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you dispatched prior?
I did. I dispatched for a sheriff's department.
And where was that at?
It was in California.
Are you nervous to say California because you live in Texas?
A little bit.
California, why do people give you a hard time
California
for that?
has such a stigma in Texas.
You know what? You're having a podcast with me, and you know what? I always say all is welcomed. Yeah. So I love California. Hey,
I always say I got here as fast as I could.
There you go. I'm from Illinois. I mean, people just feel sorry for me. They don't. They don't have it doesn't have the same response.
Winters.
It's not that bad.
Well, so my family lived in Michigan before I was born.
Now they know what they mean. Yeah. Michigan. Oh man, are they Detroit Lion fans?
No, they're actually Bears fans.
Are they really? Oh my gosh, I love your family.
Yeah.
The Bears.
Yep.
Okay, now I know all the listeners are pretty much like, really, Abby? They're really horrible. Yeah, I know they're horrible. But you know what? At least I can say I'm not a bandwagon fan.
Exactly.
Because I always get so irritated when like teams are starting to do really good. You know, like when people would talk smack about the Texas Rangers, and then all of a sudden they're doing good, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, I'm a Rangers fan. I'm like, huh.
Everybody called me a bandwagon Rangers fan, and I said, no, I'm a Bruce Bochy fan.
Okay.
Because Bruce Bochy took my Giants to the World Series all 3 times. So.
Okay. And she is wearing a Texas Rangers sweatshirt.
I am.
Okay. So she's not a bandwagon fan, but I send high fives to your family because you're sitting with a Bears fan. And fun fact too, and this is how long I've been a Bears fan, since I was a tiny Abby. They won the Super Bowl on my 5th birthday. Oh, because my birthday is January 26th, and so I actually have a pennant flag, which is cool because it's got my birthday on it.
Fun fact: the Super Bowl falls on my birthday too.
In February now.
Yep.
So we'll see who's going this year, and then you're gonna celebrate that.
Yeah.
So your baseball team is just solely the Texas.
No, I'm a Giants.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You said Giants, and then Texas Rangers.
Yeah, but strictly because of Bruce Bochy.
Okay.
Had he not come to the Rangers, I would not be a Rangers fan.
Okay. So you were in California dispatching for a sheriff's department?
I was, yeah.
Okay. And in what area in California was that in?
Northern California in the Bay Area. Yeah, so like right outside San Francisco.
Okay, awesome. Every time I'm born in the 80s, kind of raising up in the 90s and stuff. So anytime I think of San Francisco, do you know what show I think of?
Full House.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And I have never been to the Full House house.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because it really is. It's actual
it's real.
house.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I can't imagine how much that house goes for.
It's kind of millions.
More money than I will ever see in my life.
Correct. It's kind of weird being a tourist in like your own town.
I welcome Californians here, things like that. Hey, everyone, it helps the economy here in Texas. It helps local businesses, small businesses, and everything like that. So, the more the merrier.
Well, thank you.
We're clearly making room. That's totally being seen. Yeah, I know. Don't get us started talking about the traffic, but hey, you know what? It's happening. It'll be all right.
Like my coworkers will see, especially during the holidays, they'll see articles for Southern California and the traffic, and they're like, is it really like that? And I was like, yes.
You should turn around and be like, it's like that here.
But it's not.
And not that bad as much. Not on like, what's the main highway there?
Like the 405. Yes.
That one is like, because that's like a 5-laner or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it just, oh gosh. I've seen it a couple times, like, because you can watch their local news online, and so some of it will pop up on different social media apps that I do. Yeah, that's insane. But I'm afraid that that's what's going to start happening here, because the Tarrant County alone in Fort Worth and everything is growing so rapidly.
Exponentially,
yeah. And so I'm just afraid, and these highways cannot keep up with it.
No.
So we're constantly going to have construction because they're constantly going to be building.
Another reason why I enjoy working at night.
Yes, that's true. And do you guys, don't they shut down some of the roads around here, the highways, because they're working on some of them? Are you guys too far south for that?
We haven't had much construction over here.
Okay.
So I also am lucky that I can take back roads to work, so I don't have to take the freeway.
Okay. How far do you live from here?
About 30 minutes.
Okay, I was about 25 minutes away, so it's not too bad. But I was on 20, so there's some construction there that they're shutting down some of the lanes and stuff. But I think you guys are too far south, so I'd probably imagine that's Arlington.
Yeah,
that's probably that. So that makes sense. So how many years were you at the sheriff's office in California?
I was only there for a year.
Okay,
and then I took a little break from dispatching, and I missed it. So when I came to Texas, I was looking for departments.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice coming from another state, because then you're holding the carts because you already got experience.
Yes.
And they're like, ooh, everybody wants me.
Well, see, I had taken probably like a 5-year break. So I had taken like a significant.
Oh, that's a significant break. Okay.
And
what'd you do in between there?
I actually worked for a credit union. I started off as a teller, and then I worked my way up into the back office, and I did check and fraud research.
Okay. And then that's where you're like, I miss public safety.
Yeah.
Because I think I have some fraudulent activity here I need to call the police about.
And it was just like, yes, we work at a desk here, but it's not a desk job. I don't see it as a desk job, and I just am not made for the 9 to 5.
You said you were here 2.5 years?
Just a little over 2 years.
A little over 2 years. So you have 3 years of dispatch and experience. That's awesome. And then what did you do before you worked at the sheriff's office, to get you?
Before I worked at the sheriff's office, I worked for hotels. I worked for Hyatt, and I did front desk stuff, and then I did a little bit of the event stuff before I left, event planning. But yeah, I've always kind of been in a customer service role. Yeah. In any job that I've had.
I think that makes for not only a good dispatcher, but it makes you a great communicator with people.
Absolutely.
Like relating to people, because I feel, and this is just my opinion, that I feel like everybody should work in some customer service job first when they first start their working career, when you're 16 or whatever, because it just helps you connect with people in different ways, and understanding different ways of communication, whether it be like how to read people and read their body language and everything like that. So it's just, I don't know. I just think everybody should work in customer service.
Yeah, I agree.
And get your people skills going a little bit.
I grew up talking to people. My family owned a business when I was growing up, and they put me on the register because it was color coded at 3 years old.
Oh my gosh.
My brother would be like, press the green, purple, blue button, and so I would ring people
Those child labor laws in California were pretty lenient, weren't they?
But I mean, I grew up like talking to people.
That's really cool though. What kind of business was it?
It was a candy store.
Oh, okay. Now, kid in the candy store.
But see, I to this day, I still don't really eat candy because I'm around it all the time.
Oh yeah.
So
that makes sense.
So I think it's more the people who were not allowed to have it as a kid that are like obsessed with it now.
Yeah, I don't know if we had any. I just never was a big candy eater.
Yeah, I'm not really a huge sweets person.
Yeah, neither am I. So I'm like, and I don't think I was when I was a kid. I mean, there was Halloween and stuff where you were just automatically going right for the Hershey's and the Reese's. I mean, come on, let's be honest, folks. We all have done it. We're all like, don't put those black and orange candies in there. Whatever those are, the butterscotch or the caramels or something like that. Whatever they are, they're like the cheapest candy.
Yeah.
I'm like, who buys that?
The Brock's, like.
Yes. And it's like, I'm like, give me the Hershey's, give me the Reese's, give me the Kit Kats.
My mom used to tell me that I always said, I don't really want to go trick-or-treating. I just want to hand out the candy. And she's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah.
There you go.
Like, okay.
That works out. What got you to apply for 911? Like, how did you be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and be a dispatcher and go into public safety. I mean, were you watching 191 shows? Where did you see an article? Or
So actually, I studied criminal justice in college.
Oh, okay.
My original plan was to be an officer. And then I was still in school, and I had a friend who was a dispatcher for a local agency in California, and she's like, come do a sit-in with me. And I said, okay. And I went and do a sit-in. I went to do a sit-in, and I just fell in love with it. I loved it, and I immediately started applying for different agencies, and that's how I ended up at the sheriff's office. And I just found such a passion for it that I was like, I don't think I want to be an officer anymore. Like, I like this job. Like, I think it's something that I can make a career out of.
Did you think that you would stay in it as long as you did? I mean, you were only there for a year.
Yeah, I was only there for a year.
But there was something still inside you that was like, even though you took a long sabbatical from it, if you will. But now you're here.
I still had the bug. Like, I still had a passion for it. I still had a passion for helping people.
So did you always know in the back of your head, like when you left after a year, that you were going to go back to it eventually?
Yeah. So I went back to dispatching because I still had the passion for the job and helping people. And every dispatch center is not the same. Every dispatch center has different atmospheres and people and personalities and things like that. So I knew that it was still something that I was wanting to explore.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. There are so many wonderful people out in this industry, not only just in Tarrant County, but all over Texas and all over the United States. You were just kind of like, I'm going to go check out and see what I can find and everything like that. And so did you move here for this job?
No, actually. So my best friend, her husband's in the military. Okay. She and they were possibly getting stationed here. And so she's like, come look at houses with me in Texas. And I said, okay. And so we went, and I just fell in love with it. And I said, I'm going to move here. And she's like, no, you're not. And then I moved 3 months later, and they got stationed somewhere else.
They didn't even get stationed down here.
So I moved by myself, and it was a new adventure.
I'm going to give you a high five, and high five. So there you go. I moved down here by myself 11 years ago. Didn't know anybody, no friends, no family.
I'm lucky because my mom ended up moving up here too.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so my mom's here, but I just took a leap in a new adventure.
Yeah, why not? Because you know what? You can always go back. If something wasn't going to work, you can always go back. And clearly it's working out for you. Yeah. And I'm sure you have friends that you've made here, and you're just living the life up here and everything like that, or down here or over here, however the direction of California is. But and your mom lives here too. Yep. So that's fabulous. Yeah. That is so awesome. Does she live nearby you, or
she does.
Oh, that's super.
Yeah, she's only about 10 minutes away, so that's nice.
Aw, go mom. That's so awesome. All right, so what do you think that is this going to be your lifelong career? Like, where do you see yourself in like 5 years? Do you still in 911?
Yeah, I do still have a passion for it. Like, when I have too many days off, I actually miss working a little bit. Which sounds crazy.
Nah. You're passionate about your job. Like, I love my job and everything, so that's totally okay.
So I do still enjoy it, and as long as I'm enjoying my job, I'm gonna stick with it.
Well, that's awesome. I'm sure Tracy, your communication manager, would love to hear that. You got to say things like, I'm gonna have Tracy's job.
Yeah.
Someday.
Yeah.
So watch out, Tracy. She's
maybe
coming
a couple
for you.
years. I'll let her have it
a couple years.
Maybe I'll let her have it for a couple years.
Tracy, you got 2 years and then you're out. You got to bounce. So that's so awesome. Is there a call that you took either here or California that you knew that this was where your forever career was? Was there a call that just kind of hit that you're like, yep, that's it. I'm here. This is it.
So actually, it wasn't necessarily a call that I took, but it was a call that I made. So it was before I was ever a dispatcher.
Okay.
And I lived in a house and my bedroom windows were open and it was the middle of the night and I could hear a woman screaming, and not like playful screaming, like screaming for help. And so I was like, this is not normal. And so I called 911 and the dispatcher did what dispatchers do and asked me all the pertinent questions. And I could see the officers drive to where I told them. And it was just this big empty field, and which is what faced my window, was this huge empty field. And I got a call from the officer later that night and he's like, I just want you to know that you saved her life. And
oh my gosh.
She was trying to kill herself. And he said, nobody else called. You were the only one who called. And I just want you to know that because you did that, you saved her life.
Oh my God. Oh, that just gave me chills.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so from that moment on, I knew that I wanted to do something to help people. Uh-huh. And I just fell into dispatching and that was it.
Oh man. Have you had your, cause you've only been in the profession for 3 years, but have you had, any of the following calls? Baby delivery, choking, anything? Like we always, usually in your first year, you'll get like the worst calls ever.
Oh yeah.
Or the funniest call, or something that you don't get. You're in training for however many months, and then right when you get out of training, it's like, here's a call that wasn't even discussed, you know, because that's just not how the industry works.
No baby deliveries. However, when I was in training here at Mansfield, I was on phones and it was like first thing in the morning and we got a call of a guy who had jumped off the bridge. Like,
oh my gosh.
An overpass here. However, none of our overpasses are tall enough to do any damage.
I was just trying to think. I was like, wait a minute. You guys have overpasses here? And where are they?
Yeah. So it was the...
Is it one over by Heritage?
287 and Turner Warnell. So it's like on the border of Arlington and Mansfield. And it was a guy who had called who had seen this guy do it. And he was like, we need help. So I'm obviously starting everybody. And then the guy realized that the overpasses aren't tall enough to do damage.
To severely injure.
He jumped once, climbed back up to jump again. And I'm like, I've never had a guy who tried to jump twice.
Wow.
And my trainer was like, me neither. That was new. And the guy who called, he was really sweet and he was trying to save the guy. And we could just hear him in the background. And he's like, I really like your hat. Do you want to go to breakfast? Like he was trying anything he could.
You know what? There are just some humans out there that we just need to like clone.
Yes. Because
that's just people like that are just amazing.
Yeah. So that was my strangest
call.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, they'll add up real quick after a while, because you know what, time here is like 5 years feels like 15.
I can't believe I've already been here for 2 years.
Yeah, it just flies. Do you have any educational tips for the public at all? Like something you'd like to leave with the public as they're kind of all ears for you right now? If you could tell them one thing that you were like, hey, when you call, please.
So 911 hangups, we know that they happen. We know you accidentally called. Just stay on the phone with us. Just let us know it was an accident.
Oh, yeah. You know what the initial reaction, they're just like, oh my gosh.
I know.
Then they're like thinking that they're just picturing the SWAT team coming in their house, kind of like, you know.
I promise we won't do that. But if we call you back and you immediately hang up on us, we're going to send an officer to make sure that you're okay. So it's better to just let us know that you're fine and it was an accident.
I always tell people, I'm like, you know what? everyone is using a cell phone. Everyone. Like majority of the calls in Tarrant County for 911 are all cell phone. Majority of cell phones. I think it's only like 7% of them are landline phones now. And the thing is, it's like you're not the first, and you're not going to be the last.
And I think also when you do have an emergency and we are asking those questions aren't delaying help. And I think that's important to know, because people think that just because we're asking you questions still means that they're not on the way. And they are on the way. But we're asking these questions so that we're giving them an inside look at what they're walking into before they get there.
Yeah. Everything in dispatch is real time. So there's no, like, they don't fill out a piece of paper and then, someone will get to that in a little bit. It's not like taking orders at a burger joint or something like that. It's all in real time. So every time Kate types something in the computer, her police dispatcher next to her is getting that all in real time. Or they're actually, you guys talk, I mean, you guys are small.
Yeah,
so
we're small.
You can talk to each other, or tell each other, because, the technology that's in the dispatch center, I mean, they can mute the phone real quick and then talk to each other real quick by keeping you on the phone. They can press the pedal and actually access the radio directly to the police officers while they're on the phone with you.
Right. Yeah, I would be like, hey, so-and-so, I'm going to get on your radio real quick. And I would relay whatever pertinent information that you just gave me, just so that there was no delay.
Yeah, no delay at all, folks. So I'm so glad that you brought that up, because that's a huge thing. And I understand where people are coming from. And I've said this before in a lot of podcasts. People, they don't work for the industry, so they don't know the full dynamics of the job and everything, and I completely understand that. And I know that being on the phone with 911, it feels like it's been 5 minutes, but it's been 30 seconds.
Right.
But I get it, because they're having a crisis, they're having an emergency, and it's something they never expect to happen. So I totally get it. But that tip is vital, to just keep answering the questions, stay on the line with you guys. Try not to get frustrated. 911 is here to help you. Kate clearly loves her job, so she's here to help all of the citizens of Mansfield and Kennedale. So there you go. But no, I appreciate that tip. That's a good tip. Anything else you want to leave them with?
I think
Go Rangers.
I mean, I'll say go Giants.
Or go Giants.
But I mean, we're not in baseball season anymore, so
That's
I'm
true.
counting down to opening day.
Oh, there you go. You got a while. We're in January, not that far. It'll be.
Hey, spring training's right around the corner.
That is true. Yeah. Pitchers and catchers report will come out, and then then April will start out. So, and then it'll be 911 Public Safety Month, and then 911 Appreciation Week, and everything like that. Because 911's April's 911 Education Month.
Yes.
And then the second full week of April, which I think this year it's like late, because it's technically the second full week of April.
Oh, okay.
And so I think
so it's really like the third week.
March 31st is actually on a Sunday.
Oh, okay.
So then technically that's not a first full week, and so I'm like, it's like the 15th or something.
Okay.
Like, it's late.
Yeah, I'll have to check the calendar.
Yeah, it's okay. You guys are still getting a super gift from me, so that's sorry. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, though. Okay. It's a puppy. Yeah, right.
Don't joke with me about that. We've tried to talk to our chief about getting a dispatch dog.
A dispatch dog?
Yes.
Yeah, that emotional support dispatch dog.
Yes.
There you go. If you could get a dog in dispatch, what would you name him or her?
Ooh, I don't know. Probably something like, we need some police.
Something funny.
Yeah, maybe like felony. Or like,
oh my gosh,
something funny.
Hey, Mr. Meter, get over here.
Yeah. Yeah, Ruger.
Oh my god, that is so fun. I'm gonna laugh about that all the way back home too. My 20-minute drive, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna start thinking of more dog names.
Yes.
And then I'm just gonna start emailing them to you. I think, honestly, I've heard some Mansfield dispatchers talk about this before with having a dog and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe the chief may cave. He's a super guy. You never know.
We are lucky because our animal control does bring in dogs sometimes for us. So
that's nice.
So we can get a little love.
Oh, that is nice. But yeah, I hope you're. I swear to you, someone else here had I feel like I have the same conversation with someone else about getting a dog here. So I don't know. Maybe you'll get it. I don't know. It's Chief, you're a real nice guy. These are really good dispatchers. Get him a puppy.
I know.
Maybe a puppy for next Christmas.
And then it's like all the responsibilities that come with a dog too.
Yeah. Well, and then plus too, if you get a puppy, then you guys are gonna be like taking that thing out like every night. And then when it gets cold, then you got who's gonna be the dispatcher that takes the new person. The person in training. Yeah. The rookie's got to go take the dog out. So that's okay. But oh man, if you do get a dog, please name it Felony. Yeah. Everybody would call it Fel.
Right.
Hey Fel, come over here. What's that short?
Yeah,
Felony.
Felly. Yeah.
Or CCH.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, Rap Sheet, get on over here.
That would be hilarious.
All right. Well, Kate, thank you so much for being on the podcast tonight. I really, really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
And taking some time out and chatting with me and getting me out at night.
Yeah.
I can remember what the nightlife looks like and everything. I have jazzy nights. This is my night. So that's all right.
Well, I appreciate you spending it with me.
Oh, no problem. I think after we get done here, we'll go in and say hi to your peeps.
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
There you go. So again, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody for listening. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. If you haven't listened to season 1 or season 2, go back and, put an ear to it and let me know what you think. If you have any other questions or comments or you're concerned about something, you can email me at publiced@tc911.org. And if there's something that you'd like me to talk about and to pop in a bonus episode, just let me know and I can get these answers for you. And so until next time, have a fabulous week.